My mama warned me about women like this. I was hoping she was right. Still in love. In the early 2000s, she was the second to ever win the Phillies Triple Crown, last earned by Major Ramon in 1986. Pretty impressive, especially when you consider she was basically Charles II of Spain levels of inbred. This caused her to have a whole slew of mental problems, most notable of which is her attachment to her one and only jockey, Hideaki Miyuki, who was equally as crazy as she was. He was very possessive of his horse, as he attributed most of his success to her. He commented once that if someone else were to be assigned as the jockey, he'd steal her and run away together. However, one day Miyuki took his girlfriend to one of his races. It's theorized that Still in Love saw the two together, and she was never the same from that point on. She lost the race, and rapidly declined in mental as well as physical health. She was retired very early by marriage standards, and only managed to give birth to one child before passing away. Miyuki dropped everything to rush at her side as she was on her deathbed, and he could truly say that he's still in love with Still in Love. One unique thing about Still in Love in UmaMusume is that in her career mode, she actually gets different dialogue on her training menu as the career progresses, becoming more and more unhinged and her eyes becoming more red. It seems that the UmaMusume counterpart takes not only from her real-life self, but surprisingly, her jockey as well. Double Jet. In the early 90s, this horse was legendary for his all-or-nothing running style. But you see, this horse had a phobia of horses. That's right, the girl you know for being hyperactive and explosive was in reality very shy and timid. So why the running style? Well, that phobia wouldn't be without cost, especially when Double Turbo was racing his own fear. He would get scared and slow down if many horses were in front of him, so the only way for him to race was to go full boost and leave them all in the dust. He wasn't very fast or tireless, however, so that all-or-nothing style usually ended him up with nothing, only having ever won 6 races in his life. None of which being anything higher than a G3. So it's kind of like Silent Suzuka, except if Suzuka was tiny, slow, out of breath, and mentally ill. Oh, he just liked me for real? However, despite his race record being a bit lacking, his sheer popularity allowed him to race twice at the Rimekinen, and once he retired, Twin Boost managed to eventually get over his fears. So remember, next time you see the Spall of Energy, give respect to the name of Jet Fuel, Twin Tower, mentally ill horse, mentally ill horse, mentally ill horse, third in a row! Narita Brian, tough as nails. She's a well-respected and feared Triple Crown winner with a strong personality and attitude, which would make most shocked to know that her real-life counterpart was a massive pussy and had a stronger phobia against his own kind than even Twin Turbo. See that bandage on her nose and that thing on her neck? That's meant to represent a shadow rule, something that was put over Brian's face to prevent him from getting frightened by his own shadow. I'm not kidding, he was also deeply afraid of any puddles and would freak out if he saw one. The UmaMusume counterpart has a heated rivalry with Bionic Top Gun. True to real life, especially so because the two of them are sons of Brian's time. Though, Narita Brian's family representation doesn't stop there, as his other brother, Tanino Gimlet, is Brian's roommate, and his brother from his mother's side, Biwa Hehide, is his in-universe big sister. Narita Brian is part of the student council, likely because of the historical importance of being a Triple Crown winner. Which, fun fact, to my knowledge, he's the only horse who earned each of his crowns under the rule of a different Japanese prime minister. So it seems that unlike Twin Turbo, who starts slowing down when approached by other horses, Brian just speeds up. If you ever feel like your mental state is holding you back, always remember, you're simply not mentally ill enough. Like many of those sired by Brian's time, Narita Brian had much trouble breeding, producing no successful children, and ended up dying very early at the age of 7 years old. His early death is the reason Hayata Farm went bankrupt, as they could not fulfill Narita Brian's stallion syndicates to the investors and were thus accused of fraud. Whatever the fuck that means.